Hi! What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Marvel review. All right, as we both know, or as we all know, Fantastic Four comes out this weekend, and I saw it. So I'm here to give my review on the movie. Disclaimer, this is not a breakdown of Easter eggs. I'm just going to give my opinion of it because I go see every Marvel movie opening weekend. So why not give the review to you guys so you know what to expect? Spoiler alert, there could be some spoilers. I will go as detailed as I want to or need to. And I also would like to mention some of the spiritual references and how it applies to my life and what's going on, okay? So, without further ado, Fantastic Four first steps, all right? It's hot, okay? All right, so Fantastic Four. It was a good movie. Okay. I didn't go into it with too many expectations. I knew it was going to. It's popular. I know that it's the first Marvel family, one of the first teams. Also, um, shout out to Jack Kirby. And I also know, in regards to Marvel MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now able to make a film with the Fantastic Four, because before, like the X-Men, it was owned by Fox. So we finally got to a point where where they could make X-Men, or not X-Men, make Fantastic Four, and so I know about all that. So just in case you didn't know, because of the feud, I should say, between Marvel and Fox. Marvel wasn't able to use the character Fantastic Four, but this is all common knowledge. I think we all know this. So I understand how big it is, okay, for them to be in there. Next step is the X-Men. I'm really excited when X-Men get their first film. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Fantastic Four. So with all that being said, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I didn't go into it with too many expectations. But just from what I hear around, what I heard around prior to, I knew it was going to be a good movie. What I liked about the movie, it wasn't an origin movie, where this is not the first Fantastic Four movie, but it is the first Fantastic Four movie by the MCU, and it was done 2 or 3 other times by Fox, and every time it's an origin story. And just like Bruce Wayne parents were tired of seeing them dying. We can only see them die so many times. You can only see Spider-Man get bit by a spider so many times. And then the same with Fantastic Four. We've already know their story, and how they did it was, it's based in like a futuristic 1960s, 1970s, and they were on I believe a show, or basically like it was someone, as if we're watching the show that they're going to be on, that gave their brief history, and that was great. The fact that for those that don't know what happened, they were able to get tuned in real quick, without going deep or in depth about what happened. And also, it was 4 years later, so they've been doing this for years now. It's not like it's a new team. They're still trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to figure out their powers. They were able to get straight to it, get into the nitty gritty. And that part I enjoy. The fact that we're not seeing just a team that's new, that doesn't know, what they're doing. They're pretty much established already. So that was perfect. Now, with the main villain being Galactus and Silver Surfer, it was kind of a huge. Galactus is a huge villain, not just huge as in size-wise. Size-wise, he's huge as well, but he's a stronger, formidable foe, okay? And I don't think they were strong enough to defeat him without, just on brawn alone, you know, just brawn alone, they're not able to. But with that being the main villain, even it's like basically what I'm saying is Galactus is OP. He's overpowered. Which I mean, he eats planets. You know, I'm expecting him to be. Um, the Silver Surfer, OP, another strong character. You know, and like with that being said, when you have a team or just superheroes and they're fighting a villain, either the villain is too weak and then they like beat up the villains, or the villain is OP and then they, you know, they have to like think of a way to outsmart the bad guy. And I guess like what I'm trying to say is it would have been nice if we were able to see them fight like some henchmen, or not henchmen, but like see them use their more fighting, you know. Like, even though I enjoyed the movie, it was a good Marvel movie, but it wasn't like, it could have been more action is what I'm trying to say. Like, it could have been a lot more action. You know, like, even though they jumped, like they skipped the origin, like we didn't have to watch the origin of it. I would have liked it better if they skipped the origin, but then we saw them fight more. You know, like they made reference to some of the villains that they fought, but then they didn't fight none of the villains. You know, we just saw like still frames or pictures of the villains that they fought. Like they just made reference to some of the villains that they fought. You know, it would have been nice to actually see them fight some villains, that we can see them using their powers, you know. In opposed, we saw them, I mean, in the movie, in the film, you do see them use their powers, but they're using them against an OP villain. You know, it's not like they're doing that much damage. You know, they're trying to outsmart or get away, and that's fine. Like, if you, that's what you have to do for like the big bad or the big fight at the end, you know, that's great. But I wish we would have got to see more of them using their powers, you know. Prime example, like Deadpool and Wolverine. There was a lot of action in that. You know, I can't complain about the action in that. There was a lot of fights, there was a lot of action in that. And if Deadpool Wolverine has like maybe a 9 or 10 out of 10 of action, this one probably has a good like 5 or 6, you know. Like, it just could have been more action. And like, for it to have skipped the origin, it was still just filling us in, you know. And another complaint I would, not complaint, another thing I would say about the movie as well, which is gonna sound like a complaint, but it is what it is. It jumped around a lot. Like, the movie was a good, like, maybe I want to say almost 2 hours. And within that 2 hours, it starts off with Sue finding out she's pregnant. And then by the end of the movie, you know, Franklin, who's the baby, is already like a few months in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like within a span of a few hours, we've gone a few months. You know, not including the mid cutscene or the pre-credit cutscene. Not including that, because there is a post cutscene and there's a pre-credit cutscene. So if you go, make sure you stay to the end. Spoiler alert: the end cutscene is not anything related to the MCU. It's just a cartoon of like a commercial for the animated series that would have been during that time. You know, that took place in the film. But what I'm saying is, it jumped around. Well, it kind of jumped around because we kind of went to the past to see like how they got their powers. But what I'm saying is, it could have, it's just in that short amount of time of the movie, it wasn't like a 2-hour movie that took place in one weekend, or it took place in 1 week, or or. Something like that, you know. Like, it was like it just seemed, I guess, quick, you know, because like we just found out she's pregnant. Now she's already like time to have the baby, you know, and I get it. Like I appreciated it because like it was a lot of filler that they removed, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have some of that filler in there, you know, like I don't know, it was like it's hard to explain. It was just like it was jumping to these points. It seemed rushed. Like we found out she was pregnant, and then the fight to Galactus, you know, like Reed Richards, he took Mr. Fantastic. He had an idea to defeat Galactus, but it was going to take time. So it like jumped. It went from the idea to now it's complete. You know, like he had to build structures, and structure took time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I said, it didn't seem rushed, but it skipped a lot of fluff, you know. And sometimes, you know, we do appreciate that fluff. Like it would have been great if there was like another, like if we saw some more villain fights besides, or like time for them to use their powers, you know. One thing I did appreciate, I think her name is Natalie. Is it Natalie? The lady with the curly hair who's in Orange Is the New Black. She was in there, and I enjoyed seeing her in there because I don't know. I know in Orange Is the New Black she played a lesbian, and there's nothing wrong with lesbians, you know. Nothing wrong with lesbians, you know. But I think she's gonna play the love interest for Ben. So it was nice to see her in a different type of role. That's what I'm trying to say. Like a lot of her roles, she is the lesbian, the more butch, or not butch, but the more like masculine role, you know. She's more dominant, but like she's playing, it's nice to see her in a different role. So I did appreciate that. The actors, I think they did a great job. I enjoy all the actors in the movie and actresses. Yeah, it was just overall, it was a good movie. I would give it like maybe an 8 out of 10. You know, it wasn't like Doomsday. Not Doomsday. It wasn't like Avengers Endgame. Like it wasn't like that, you know. Like that had a lot of action, you know. I just wish it had more action. And like, I don't know, the action that it had wasn't bad, but like it's them fighting Galactus, and you know, they're to him, their attacks are like insects, like how you swat a fly or swat a mosquito, you know. It's just not really doing that much damage to him, you know. Where they have to devise a plan. And that's fine and dandy. I just wish, you know, it was like they had other villains in there, you know. They fought was it that guy. They fought the Mole Man, where the Mole Man was in there, and like they just made reference to these villains and just didn't fight them. Okay, all right. Next, I would like to transition into more of like a spiritual recap of the film and what I got from it spiritually. One thing I got for sure from it, the sense of family. You know, I mean, with it being Marvel's first hero family, you know, I would expect for it to be a good sense of family. So like the importance of family is definitely echoed throughout the entire film. So family is definitely important. Another thing I got from it is being able to, or not even being able to, but seeing problems from different approaches. Because with Reed Richards being one of the smartest guys, a lot of the approach, well, his approach to a lot of things is more of the masculine energy. Okay, as we all know, masculine, we're all made up of energy, masculine and feminine energy. You know, when you have an idea or thought, that's your masculine energy. When you execute that idea or thought, that's your feminine energy. That's an example of feminine energy. Another example of feminine energy is nurturing, intuition, you know, believing more in the unseen, not in the tangible. And with Reed Richards, him being a scientist and being a very intellectual person, he is more intellectual, or he's more, you know, science based. So like we got to he thrives in his masculine energy. And of course with Sue being an upcoming mother, well, at the beginning of the film she's an upcoming mother, by the end of the film she's a mom. So of course we see her more of a feminine energy. So we got to see, when we see those, the duality of that. But then they have other members of the team that they can like bounce ideas off of, like meaning Ben and Johnny. So it's not just like it's just Sue and her husband, or Sue and Reed arguing all the time. Like the whole movie wasn't about them arguing or anything like that, but like bumping heads. It wasn't just about them bumping heads. And if they did, then there were other characters who were able to give their input, and give different perspectives on things. And a lot of times, sometimes Sue and Reed were, you know, on the same page, and then the other two were disagreeing. And sometimes you have to apply that to your life. You know, there's different aspects of all of us. You know, there's the past us, there's our future selves, there's, you know, the divine feminine, divine masculine that lives all in us. You know, you have, you know, the person that you show the world, and then there's the person that you keep to yourself. You know, we have different aspects of ourselves inside of ourselves, and sometimes you have to consult with those different aspects of yourself when you're making decisions, you know. And I'm guilty of that as well, or not guilty of not doing that. You know, sometimes I make decisions, and we all do, you know, I'm pretty sure we all do. It's not just me, but we make decisions that are based off, or that can not profit, that can benefit one aspect of ourselves, instead of making a decision that's unanimous to the whole collective, your whole self collective, you know. And if we actually take the time out and think about, you know, who is this helping? What aspect of me is this helping? How many aspects of me is this helping? You know, where is this idea coming from? When you sit there and think about that, or you put the time or energy into that, you can get better results because you've taken the time out to consult with yourself, you know, the different aspects of yourself, not just one aspect, you know, not just the old self. If the old self would do things this way, what would the new self do? What would your higher self do? You know, what's beneficial for all parts of you, not just one part, you know. Sit and meditate, you know, that is great. Also, a huge focus on this movie was Franklin Richards, which is the baby. And even though like we saw a taste of his powers toward the end, but Galactus is after him, and Galactus can tell like the power that he's going to have, but they don't know it yet. So like they spend a part of the time guessing or testing if the baby is going to have powers or not, you know, while he's still in the womb. And they're trying to figure it out, but then Galactus notices it right away. And what I took from that is the fact of like, you know, we all have cosmic energy. Well, I'm assuming we all do, you know. I can only speak for myself, but I'm assuming whoever's watching this, that you have cosmic energy as well, because you're watching this. But it's a matter of tapping into that energy, and what are you going to do with it? You know, are gonna be a hero like the Fantastic Four or not. You know, like we all can be the good guy. We can all help others. Oh, another theme that I did see in this movie as well is sacrificing. Um, sacrifice is a good one, and then also like it was so Galactus wanted to he said I'll leave the Earth alone if you give me the baby, you know. And then when they said no, we're not giving you our baby, you know, and they came back and told the world this, and there were people that were upset, like genuinely upset, like they were upset because they felt like they should have gave the baby or the child up to save all these lives. Never mind the fact that they've helped them. They've saved the world countless times up until now. Like they're years into it, you know. And those people were just so quick to turn on this family. And it's like, wow. And I know it's not everyone, but they were like protesters and stuff outside their home, you know, like, what are you doing? You know, like, I don't know. That's a tough decision. Like, I've been saving these people. I mean, I wouldn't give up my child either, but at the same time, they still stuck around to help, to try to figure something out. They didn't just leave the people high and dry. They didn't just like ignore them, you know, like they put themselves in danger to fight this cosmic being, something that no one else is doing, you know. Like, I don't know if there's other heroes in this universe, but there's a lot of humans in this universe, and then the humans aren't doing it, you know. So like the fact that they are putting themselves out there in order to, and no one else is, you know, I don't see anyone else stepping up or volunteering, physically, scientifically. I mean, the country at one point, like when Reed came up with an idea, it provoked, or not provoked, it developed world unity. Like I think at one point they said like everyone was on board to help with Reed's idea, and it had been like the first time in like ever or a long time where the whole world was all like, I mean, Galactus is coming to eat the world, you know what I'm saying? So like I would hope that if there was a earthly or world threat, that countries can put their differences aside so that they can like chip in to help that, you know. And they did. So, you know, what we can do as humans, whether we're cosmic entities or not, you know, that was a common theme that we did see in the movie. Because one, you know, people can, you know, everyone makes a difference. We're all here on this earth. We're all living this life. So like, even the people that will see this video, you know, I'm hoping that I am putting this video out there in order to help the next person. The same with my other videos. You know, I try to put out videos of positivity, and I'm hoping that the videos that I put out there are going to help the collective. And even though, you know, we all can be doing more, we all can be doing something, the fact that by posting this video, I am doing something, you know. And that's what it's all about. It's the fact of like, we can always feel like we can do more, and you can always do more, you know, but at least you're doing something. And we might not have superpowers, but we do have the support of E, all the above. You can feel A through D wherever you want, whether that's the Most High, God, the universe. You know, you put your trust, belief, and faith into a higher power, and then you can do whatever you put your mind to, because you've already put your trust and faith into a power that's higher, you know. So, you know, I think that's all I'm going to add for today. Tell me down in the comments below if you've seen the movie, or if you plan to see the movie. How did you like it? And how did you like this review of it? Did it help? Did I encourage you to go watch the movie? Overall, like I said, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I just wish it was more action. But at the same time, they did say that they will be back in Doomsday, in Avengers Doomsday. So, even though there could have been more action in this film, I know that when they come back in Doomsday, that we'll see more of their powers. Shout out to Sue Storm. She was a real MVP in this movie, not gonna lie, on multiple occasions. Johnny was cool. He did what he had to do. We didn't really see Ben fight too much. I mean, he did what he had to do. But Sue was the real MVP in this movie, okay? Just throwing her out there, giving her flowers. So shout out to her. Before I go, all day long, we breathe unconsciously for ourselves. So let's just take a moment to breathe for someone else, whether they're thinking about you or not, whether they're right next to you or not. So on the count of 3, we're going to inhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And then exhale. Also, let's take this opportunity to give thanks to E, all the above. You can fill A through D with whatever you want. But I just want to take this opportunity to give thanks. So thank you for the ability, my ability to give thanks. Thanks. I want to give thanks to you all for watching. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, MCU, for giving me another thing to talk about on my channel, and some more forms of entertainment. Thank you for the opportunity to take a break from my regular scheduled life in order to go watch a film. So thank you. Also, side note, I already knew my tire was on the verge. I rode my bike to the movie theater, and when I went outside to ride my bike back, the tire was busted. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna fix that. I don't know how I'm gonna fix the tire. I need money to buy a tire. So that I have to worry about, and I'm gonna be walking for the next few days. Sad face. I mean, but I got legs to walk, so I'm appreciative for those. There's some people that don't got legs or who can't walk. So, just don't forget to be appreciative, okay? With that being said, we're almost at 30 minutes. I think I'm going to end it here. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? Go check out some of my other videos of positivity. And don't forget to move. I look like move. It says Venom, but it looked like MOVE. All right, you guys. I'm about to get out of here. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys in another video. Bye. And go check out some of my other reviews. I did review Thunderbolts and Ironheart. And I believe Captain America Brave New World. So if you haven't seen any of those movies, go check the reviews out. If you have seen those movies, go check the reviews out and tell me if you agreed or if you didn't, just show me that you're interested. I want to keep on making videos. But I want to do engaging content. So feel free to engage, all right? I'm really bummed about that tire, though. I'm just rambling right now. I'm trying to, stall this time out for, 1 more minute so it can be, an even 30, So, you know what? Let's pull one card from both these decks. Remember, the universe has your back. And if you need a reminder, here is your reminder, okay? I know how I want to feel. All right. Let me get one card, one reminder of how the universe has... and this card flips over. The universe has your back, which is the same card on the front. So that is definitely a reminder of the universe having your back. It's picking the card that the universe has your back. But let me get a different card. Ooh. We got, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. All right. And we are at 30 minutes. So I'm going to end it. You know what? Bonus card. I'm going to get one from Ask and It's Given. Let's pull one card from here, okay? And then I will let you guys go. Thank you for whoever's sticking around. And we need to talk about my sobriety journey. There's so much that I need to catch you all up on. Come on, let me get one card. Let's pull this one. My emotions are vibrational interpreters. Your eyes, your ears, even your nose, tongue, and fingertips are translating vibrations. But your most sophisticated of vibrational interpreters are by far your emotions. By paying attention to the signals of your emotions, you can understand with absolute precision everything you are now living or having or have ever lived. All right, you guys, I'm getting hot. I'm going to let you guys go so I can wipe my face. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys in another video. Bye.